Illaoi. It's Illaoi, right? That's not Illaoi. Not a League player, so, you know, you got to excuse me if I'm sitting here dumbfounded by how to pronounce characters' names. So we played a little bit of this character in a very early state a while back. I think we can talk about that now. She was in effectively like an early alpha state. A lot of incomplete animations, mostly keyframes. And she was kind of cool. It seemed like she was going to be sort of a complicated character. Like she was going to be a puppet character in some way, but she wasn't that. She was more of a long-range manipulator. She reminded me kind of Gargos in some way, where she could like, or Gargos has like portal punches and shit. It felt like she was doing that with tentacle stuff. It was sort of cool. Illaoi. So I'm curious what she's like now, because that was like a year ago now. It didn't really seem like she's actually a puppet character specifically before. Like she just got more unique normals than most. So let's check out this trailer. Actual big Project L update. Damn, sorry, 2X kisses and hugs. I'm fairly sure this is going to be at EVO Japan, so we're likely going to get a whole bunch more stuff on Project L at EVO Japan. So that's good. I'm curious to see where some new characters and if we're going to get release date stuff. I doubt that might be at EVO. I'm a good chance that'll probably be at EVO.
Life is motion, not peace.
Damn. She's animating great. Good lord. She looks like a bruiser. Yeah, so this super was some weird stuff. Jesus, when was the first time we saw this character? Well, this is sick. Holy hell. Well, this is sick.
I'm Caroline, game designer on 2XKO, here to give you an update on the latest addition to our roster, a champion who will be available to play for the very first time at this year's EVO Japan, Illaoi, the Kraken Priestess.
Cool.
As the prophet of Nagakeboros, the great Kraken, Illaoi's faith demands that she take control of her own destiny by always moving forward. She wields a golden totem to test the will of her opponents and summon tentacles to fight by her
This stage
side.
is amazing.
In 2XKO, Illaoi is a heavy-hitting juggernaut who overwhelms enemies with pressure.
Oh, assist ready information. Here, I'm moving my camera.
Big hits and dealing big damage.
Yeah, they have a new update to the UI.
Combo out of control.
Very nice.
This revolves around summoning and activating spear tentacles. First, she can use any of her S2 specials to spawn a tentacle. Then, she can use any of her S1 specials to trigger a tentacle follow-up attack, as long as her opponent is within that tentacle's splash zone.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Even if her opponent isn't in range, Illaoi can use certain moves to teleport the nearest tentacle to them.
This very much reminds me of Gargos shit. Yeah, already I've seen the Gargos isms, because Gargos is the same thing where they have like not puppet characters that are out there. The minions will automatically do things if you do things around the minions.
She can also use Prayer of Motion or Prayer in Stagnation to activate tentacles from a distance.
That's cool.
While tentacles are an important part of Illaoi's kit, she's not a puppet character. We didn't want it to feel like her tentacles were doing all the fighting for her.
There you go.
Instead, they're like rewards that Illaoi can earn by playing well. It means always staying in motion and taking smart risks to take control of the game. Illaoi can also lose tentacles if her opponent hits them, in which case, Illaoi can still do big damage, but she does lose access to some of her strongest neutral options. This means she'll have to take more risks or use an assist to engage her opponent, which isn't ideal. In development, there was a lot of debate around how tentacles should work. Should they be a true extension of Illaoi? Should they be completely independent of her? Both of these options felt very sink or swim, so we opted for a more balanced route, where Illaoi can activate tentacles without making direct contact with an opponent, but that opponent still has counterplay against them. Beyond her tentacles, we wanted Illaoi's kit to capture her incredible size, strength, and momentum, and her supers are no exception. With her S1 super, Crashing Waves, Illaoi picks up her opponent,
I wonder if that's an
swings
overhead.
them overhead, and slams them into the ground twice. If she already has a tentacle up,
Utility
holding
super.
S1 will reposition it so that she can stay on the offense after her super ends. Her S2 super, Wrath of Nagakeboros, summons giant tentacles that smack the ground around them. It also turns any tentacles that were already active into giant tentacles and leaves one behind after
Gotcha, so it's a modifier.
It can be an extremely impressive move, but if Illaoi or her duo is hit at any point during the super, her tentacles will disappear. So it's safest to use against an opponent who's knocked down. Finally, Illaoi's ultimate, Test of Spirit, sends her opponent's soul
It's just
to
a
the
more
depths,
reward super.
where they'll come face to face with Nagakeboros.
This game keeps looking better and better.
We love the idea of Illaoi smacking the spirit out of her opponent and beating it up.
And to be honest, I'm already seeing stuff in this trailer outside of the early impressions we had of Illaoi being super early, like a year ago. I'm already seeing just general gameplay stuff that looks a lot smoother. We saw the idea of where the game was going, and it was like, okay, we get what you're doing, but it was still early, right? It was clear that they had recently come across their effective vision for the game and being a team game and all this stuff where it was like, all right, I get where you're going here, but there's some rough around the edges sort of moments. There was some stuff that was like, I see where you're going here, but I definitely have criticisms, which is what we talked about in the first Project L playable. Still a super fun game. To me, I'm already seeing resolutions to some of those criticisms just by looking at the game naturally as it's in this state right now.
Up as an homage to her Kitten League, Test of Spirit is a mid-range move with super fast startup, which makes it great for ending combos, as a whiff punish, or for hitting an assist that's far away. It's also invincible on startup, making it a powerful.
I love the way the game looks too.
Illaoi
It's looking
is
even better.
capable on her own, but her powerful assists make her an equally formidable tag partner. Her back assist is a long-range tentacle strike, same as her S1 special. If there's already a tentacle in range of her opponent, it'll perform its usual follow-up attack. Illaoi's forward assist is the same as her S2 special. On its own, the assist is great for controlling mid-range, but using Handshake Tag immediately afterwards lets Illaoi swap in and use the tentacle she just created to keep the pressure on. When she's not on screen, Illaoi's tentacles stick around to offer her teammates an extra offensive support. Even when she's KO'd, Illaoi can use Last Stand to activate Wrath of Nagakeboros and send the opponent
Oh
to
my
tentacle
god.
safe.
That overhead.
When choosing a tag partner for Illaoi, remember she wants to back opponents into a corner, but getting them there might be risky. Illaoi's ideal tag partner is someone with strong neutral and high mobility who can make space for Illaoi to engage. Ari is a prime example. Her speed and long range
is looking
allow
very
her to
good.
catch opponents that Illaoi can't always pin down. Her assists also
You can't wait to be
Illaoi
awful in this
extend
game. Just
combos
get a friend
or
that's
convert
good.
A defensive tag into
You play in
damage.
teams.
Again, Illaoi will be available to play at this year's EVO Japan, along with Echo,
Ooh, that's a
Ari,
cool color.
Darius, and Yasuo. If you're attending, try her out with or against your friends and let us know what you think.
Yeah, this is 2XKO devs. This is looking really good. If you guys are watching Project L devs, I'm finding this to look really good. And even already some of the stuff that I was a little critical about early on, hopefully did not come across as a hater. I really hope I didn't. But that the game was in a state where some new concepts and things were being thrown around. I'm looking forward to getting my hand on this shit.
Otherwise, you
Especially
can
this
still sign up
character.
for at-home playtests happening later this year. And follow us on social for all future Illaoi updates.
That's good.
Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
This is effectively the premium free-to-play fighting game, chat. This is going to be the premium free-to-play fighting game of all free-to-play fighting games. It feels like the entire industry is waiting on this game, too. I will say that. Just in terms of an overall vibe that I've kind of gotten over the past few years, this entire industry is effectively waiting for this game to see like how it does and what they do, you know, and if it's successful. I think it's a good thing that this game was not forced out. It's also unfortunate that 2XKO has taken so long to effectively become something really substantial. But at the same point, you got to realize that's for good reason. That this didn't come out as another 1v1 game that was very much like maybe a Street Fighter clone. That game already feels like it might be something, might have been when it was not a team game, something much closer to even like a Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, not even a Rising, right? Like a GBVS, maybe something close to that.